Today, we're all in for a treat because I'm about to chat with Jenny Bohannon, who runs the Instagram account Tallwood Country House. Jenny kind of became Instagram famous while in quarantine, all because she started posting videos of her family's pet ducklings swimming around the kitchen sink, surrounded by the most gorgeous flowers. So today, we're checking in on the ducks, and we're also going to get a tour of Jenny's lovely, lovely home in Virginia. She's a Grandmillenial and has fabulous taste, so I think you're gonna like this tour. I'm so happy to be chatting with you today. How is quarantine life in Clifton, Virginia?
Life is good. Thank you.
You're at your beautiful home there with your 3 kids and your husband?
Yes, they are all home today. I have sent most of them away. I have my oldest here who's helping me with the ducks.
Who's babysitting the ducks? Okay. So we're going to get to the ducks in a second, which I'm really excited about. I'm obsessed with your style and your taste. I did a massive deep dive on your Instagram, probably going back to your very first post.
Okay.
So you've got a mix on the page of interior design and style, your Grandmillenial vintage style. But then these ducklings have become Instagram famous. How did this happen?
It's been really crazy. And it all happened around the time the lockdown started. I mean, I really can take no credit for the timing because we had ducklings last season and I posted a couple pictures. I think Country Home might have reposted one that got some attention, but nothing like what happened this year. And I honestly think that just with everyone being home and just the fear and, there's just a lot. It was just something wholesome and beautiful to take our minds off of everything going on.
But you started taking videos of them versus posting pictures, and maybe that was something different?
That was something different. I posted maybe one video last season. I
can hear them.
I don't love videos on my feed just because I'm always thinking about the look of and videos. I can't really edit the brighten them, the things that make for a beautiful feed. And so I just really I don't know. I almost didn't put that first. I almost didn't post that first video, but I remember thinking, if I end up not liking it in my feed, I can take it down.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, logic. So I put it up, and really soon after that, I mean, Allison, all over the world. I mean, all over the world. And it has been just such a joy. I think that we will look back at this time, in our lives is just very joyful because of all just the ducklings, and they've brought joy to our home, and just to be able to share that a little bit, with everyone else, has been really, really special for all of us.
Well, let's see these little superstars.
Okay, let me see. That would require me to be able to flip this. Hold on one second. Okay. Okay, so here they are.
Oh my gosh.
So they're big. They're big. What's that?
How old are they? Okay,
so these little guys are, oh my word, a couple weeks old. This is actually our third batch of ducklings this season. We have about a flock of 25 now. So y'all are seeing a lot more than you normally see. I'm normally so obsessive about making sure you don't see their mess. But you're going to see that today because I can't be cleaning as I go. But so yeah, they're these little guys are, I guess they're about 3 weeks old. So not too old, but they grow so fast. So that's the thing.
Where do they have little swims in your kitchen sink, and then where do they live?
So we have a stable. So their home is kind of in the stable and around the stable area, but we also have a pond. So the thing about the pond is that, and I've talked a little bit about this because people have been curious, is just that until they're fully adult ducks, there's just so many predators, the snapping turtles especially. And so this is this was just a fun way for our boys to let them swim and to see them swim. So that's kind of how it started.
They're so adorable how they pick at the flowers. They
do. They pick at everything. They pick at everything.
So do they have names?
They don't have names. One of the things that we learned quickly about farm life is that we love the joy of having the animals, but we do experience loss.
Oh.
So, and it's hard. It's really hard. That's definitely something being more of a, I mean, suburbs of Washington, you know, I wouldn't quite call myself a country girl. I definitely wasn't prepared for. So, you know, the first season that we had these little guys. So, anyway, so we, every once in a while we'll assign them names, but
So they hang out in the sink. Do they ever just like, I've seen so many cute Instagram posts with them where they've been like popped around the house. Do they ever roam around or?
well, not freely. Jackson, would you mind turning off the water? My son is here with me, so he's going to turn off the water. I don't want them to jump out here. Let me, wrong thing. Hold on. There he is. Say hi.
Hi.
So he's helping me today. So they, yes, but very, I obsessively guard them. So it's very staged. My children do not sleep with these ducks. They do not just roam freely in our home. They're farm animals and they make a mess. So that's just the reality.
But they are adorable. So sorry, did you say how many you have right now?
So right now we have a flock of about 25.
That's a lot of little ducklings.
Yes, it's a lot. Well, some of them are adults. So we have adults from last season. We lost a few last season. So it's been, and we're trying to split them between kind of being more around our stable and being down at the pond. We would love for them to spend more time at our pond. But they have like a homing sense. And so they always, like, we can only get them to stay down at the pond for like 30 minutes before they're back at the stable ready to go in. So
if you have a stable, does that mean you have a lot of other farm animals on your property?
No, we don't at all. This was kind of, we started with,
a stable for the ducks.
A stable for the ducks. So Tallwood is actually a horse farm in the middle of horse farms. And we do not have horses. So
that's hilarious.
This was kind of our way of, biding our time with our children. But also we started out with guineas. When we moved in, we had just a serious problem with, the land had just been kind of vacant. And we had lots of ticks. And so that's a huge concern, especially with children.
Yeah.
And it was just too much for us to treat any other way, which we probably wouldn't have wanted to anyway. But we started out with guineas and they eat about 4,000 ticks a day. And that really, really helped us. And then ducks too. I mean, they lay wonderful eggs, high-rising eggs for baking, and then also eat lots of bugs. So they do serve a function other than just being beautiful, but of course, I really appreciate their beauty.
Oh, I love their beauty too. I mean, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen on Instagram.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. That's so sweet.
But I do love the sentiment also that it's really kind of brought people together around the world. And they've, you even said they've reposted. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you have people all over the world reposting these videos.
Over the world. And so one of the things I've started to see lately is people who have gotten their own ducks and they're putting them in the sink and they're taking pictures. And the latest, I think, was from Ukraine. And that Ukraine has just been through so much in the past few years politically. I mean, they've had a really rough go at it. So just to see something really sweet, it just like, I could have cried.
Well, so what's the next animal going to be?
Oh my word.
You can't think. You've got 25 ducks.
So we have goats that are supposed to be coming this season, but we will see. So little Nigerian dwarf
video.
So yeah, we'll see. We really actually desperately, we have woods. So we need some help with our woods. So they will serve a purpose too.
Well, I love this sneak peek of the little ducks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're very welcome.
And now we get a tour of your home.
Yes.
A little mini tour, which I can't wait to see.
Yes.
So before we start though, your house has a name. Tallwood.
Yes. Tallwood. Okay, so you can go ahead and start putting them back. Okay. So yes. So I told my son that we just didn't want them. Oh my word, this is the funniest of all. He will be stoked by the time he's done. Like stoked.
He's got a hard job. Thank him for me.
Yes, I will. He loves it. So yes, so that was the name of the house. It was named, I think, in the 60s. And there's a lot of woods, and just trees. I mean, you kind of get the name when you.
Yeah, that's so.
So, so yeah. So, but it was just really sweet because we actually didn't realize that the house had a name, but we went back to the stables and it said Tallwood Kennel or something like that. And so we started researching and found out, that that was the name of the house. And it was just really special.
Somebody's so funny. They just commented the ducks don't want to leave.
They don't.
Do they love having a bath?
What's that?
Do they love having a bath?
They just love playing in water. They're ducks. I mean, they love,
that
that's the thing about ducks is that, and people don't realize this, and I feel bad if people are going out and getting ducks not realizing how messy they are. So maybe I can correct the record.
You can show a little behind the scenes of what actually happens.
No, but they're just, we actually have to keep we have to be really careful with the water because they will just play like in their drinking water. I mean, no matter how little, they're like the tiniest puddle, they will find a way to play in. So, and they somehow store water in their beaks. So like, even if you don't think that they've had water and you're holding one, you'll start to get water all over you.
All over your hands.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Okay. So we are in your kitchen still.
Yes.
And this is one of your favorite rooms.
Oh my word. Yes.
I see a lot of pictures on Instagram of this room.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready to turn it around. And
I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so let me walk over let me start out here where, well, I guess I can just, so.
You bought this house 3 years ago, right? And it's needed a lot of renovations.
It did. We actually, okay, let me turn this back around. Well, so we live just a few doors down from my childhood home. My parents are, over the river and through the woods. Like, we don't need a carriage. We can walk. And it's just really special. And we just stumbled upon, saw that the house was for sale. And, of course, I, walked past this house as a child and, never thought about it. But I was just curious. And so I think it was a Sunday afternoon and we were coming to visit my parents. So I was just like, Brett, let's just stop. And I've always wanted to see inside this house. And my parents had been in, but, I was, off to college. Like, as soon as we drove back onto the property, I had never even, been back on here. My husband immediately fell in love with the land. It was just kind of one of those, it felt a lot different, from the house than from just driving by.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and honestly, it was being sold almost as a teardown, which is why we could afford it. My dad is in real estate. I tracked him down in minutes, and was like, Dad,
I need this.
Yeah, we both. And I told him we're both in agreement. This is not just to me, And he, and so I think within a week we had a contract on the house, and we had not been looking to move. We had a lovely house. We had not been looking to move, so we had, I think, two market, and it was just very quick moving. But yes, it needed a lot. And we'll see the foyer in a minute. But as soon as I walked in, I understood the heart of the woman who picked everything out. And so that was just really special to me. I just really understood her point of view, even though it was so long ago. And I felt just I just really understood the decision she had made, the choices she had made. And I was really excited to just discover, where she hung her nails for Christmas. So I could see where her wreath went, and just little things that were really special. So, okay, let me turn this around.
But you have such an appreciation for vintage and for kind of this Grandmillenial style that,
I think that is something that, so this is a view you see a lot. So
this is beautiful.
Mudroom. And actually this used to be, pretty bad, but, we did a lot of work. My mother and I think I shared with you, Allison, we painted the floor.
I love that you did that together.
Yes, it was very special. My boys play classical guitar, so those are always over there. I moved them for photo shoots. So I never really share, let me see, I'm trying to see what I'm showing here. I don't show this side of the kitchen very much because it's just so hard to photograph against a window.
But it's so beautiful, the greenery you have in all the land.
Yes, it is gorgeous. And so our neighbor actually owns the former lead horse of the Belmont Stakes. So her barn is probably I don't know, more expensive than our house. It's incredible. Of course, it's back somewhere back there. So yeah. So but anyway, so I could really get lost at this window for hours. So it's actually a hazard.
What a great breakfast nook.
It really is. We have some more plans. I think we're going to try to put like a maybe a window seat in lieu of the chairs, just so there's not some going on. But
somebody just said they love the wallpaper, and I actually want to mention it because was that original to the house when you moved in?
Original to the house. If you the former kitchen was okay, I understood the former kitchen, and I'm sure that it was very beautiful at the time it was put in. But it was so outdated. I mean, so outdated, so tiny. And so we, you know, that was one of the first things that we did was to take that kitchen out and to just kind of put in a new kitchen. And around that time, I became really inspired by, I don't know if you've seen plain English kitchens or Duval kitchens. They're so I kind of became very inspired by just that classic English look and the simplicity, especially because the rest of the house, this is not like a grand house. I always say it's an English country home trapped with a 2,700 square foot frame.
It's cozy.
So yeah, it is. And so we, so I just really wanted something simple for kind of back of house, just something where, you know, nothing grand, nothing formal, but beautiful. So that's
but
kind
it's so classic in its design with the like countertops and kind of, what, do you know the color that's on your wall?
So this is Farrow and Ball white tie. It's my all-time favorite white.
Very pretty.
A warm white, so I think a lot of people kind of would probably maybe not tend towards it, but it's a very, I love it. It's my favorite white. So
and I like how you have the open shelves so you can see kind of some of your servingware, and but it's all very tidy.
Yeah, well, this was kind of our like we don't have cabinetry, upper cabinetry. So this was, and we didn't want it. We wanted, like, I wanted this to feel a little bit more like a space than a kitchen, I guess. And so a room than a kitchen. And so the furniture piece element in trying to get that look is really important. So that's why I actually bought these on Craigslist from a family who was downsized. They had brought them over from England. So
what a great find.
Really, yeah, they're very special. And we're feeling very blessed to have them.
Tell me how you and your mom painted the floor, because that sounds like a huge undertaking.
It was. So I need to put together a tutorial, and I have, but we started with, so this old house has a wonderful how to paint a floor tutorial on their website. So we started with that. Unfortunately, my mother is like very good at math, so she helped me to kind of figure out, you know, the starting angles and things like that. And then we just worked really hard, and it took us about 3 days. Here's the floor.
Oh, there we go. So it's actual paint. It's black and white paint.
It is paint. But I have to say, this is something that most people don't know. So this is actually a subfloor. This is not hardwood. Well, it's wood, but it's not hardwood.
But that's such a, I mean, because it maybe doesn't even make, well, does it not make sense maybe to paint hardwood with the checkers? Or
it would have been, okay, so we actually had hardwood heart pine floor that we were going to use in this kitchen, and we had purchased it on Craigslist, and it ended up being, we talked to our contractor and he said it was just too far gone. And this was like really close to when we were, like, I didn't have time to find something else. And I had always wanted to try a checkered floor, but I would never have been brave enough to buy hardwood and try
and then paint it
on the chance that I would completely ruin it. Like, I would have just never done that. So I on Pinterest, like years ago, oh my word, so many years ago, I saw where someone in France had painted a subfloor, and they had done the checks. And so I just thought, why? I mean, let's just try it. So
that's a great idea.
And it was kind of going to be like our, it was kind of going to be just temporary. And then, you know, we could put down hardwood, and then I could paint that after I had my confidence, you know, things like that. But it took so long.
Well, and it's beautiful.
So I told my husband, you know, I was just so happy with it. So,
so don't touch it. You're done. You don't need to worry about it.
We're not touching it. And my mom will probably never paint another floor with me. So very sweet to help me with this.
Okay, before we move on to another room, I'm noticing I know that you are a huge vintage sourcer and you always have such amazing luck with your finds. I have a feeling some of these prints that are kind of tilted against your wall are from vintage shops.
Yeah, so these prints, oh my word, this is the craziest story. So there was a man who was just had this lot of 14 prints on Craigslist that he was selling, and
oh my gosh, all of these.
Yes, and I think he was selling them for $1 each. And I mean, I didn't even look through all of them. I saw enough. Like those ones over there are like an English.
Are they like countryside prints?
And these, yeah, I just knew that I didn't need to look through them all. So and then I just kind of brought them home and set them on the counter to see what on earth I had just bought. And they ended up looking so pretty. And I love having art in the kitchen anyway. Yeah, and then the one up top there, I love that. That I found on eBay many years ago. So
you were going to get me to go back on Craigslist, which I haven't been on for years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it just, I think it really depends on your area. As to whether or not you have a good Craigslist. So I do, in some ways it can be limiting depending on, where you live, but we just happen, in the DC area, and I'm sure it's the same for you in New York. We just have a really good Craigslist.
Okay, so let's go to the next room. But before we go, just somebody had a question again about the paint. Can you say the paint color name again? And did you use a varnish or something on top for durability?
Are we talking about the floor? Okay.
So sorry, I think somebody asked about the Faro and Ball.
So the walls are Faro and Ball white tie, and they're just a flat. I prefer flat paint. And then the floors we did not use a varnish on the floor. We used bare porch and floor paint. And we had it color matched to, again, it's Faro and Ball white tie and then a Faro and Ball black. But I just had, Bear has a very good porch and floor paint. So we went ahead with that. And we didn't have to use a varnish or anything. So, or a top cover, I guess.
All right, where to next?
Okay, so we can go on to the dining room.
I love all your shots of the dining room.
Thank you. So this is our dining room. So we are actually set up in here. We were just doing a project with Shop the Avenue, so that's been really fun.
Oh, look at your table setting.
Yeah, so I just actually went and, so we shot this table a couple days ago, but the flowers died because they were cut flowers. So I went out this morning and just,
They're lovely.
So those will last us all summer, which we needed them anyway. So that's good. I love using, my favorite is to use potted flowers and table. I just think on tables, they're elegant, but they're not too over the top. And they kind of ground, very fancy.
Yeah, it's sort of nice bringing the outside inside.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So this is, I guess I can give you a better look at this table. So I don't think they haven't even shared this yet. So you guys are like for real.
Oh, lucky us.
Yeah. So here we go. And then this is kind of the view that you get from in here.
I love that you have doors actually.
Oh my word. So this has been honestly, especially because we're now like not even a house, we're like a child's op center where every child has a different computer in a different room. So it's been so nice to just be able to shut the doors. And I know you asked about these, Allison. So
those are beautiful.
They really are. So these were a Salvation Army find.
I can't get over this. I also can't get over how much you paid for them.
Oh my word, it was like nothing.
99 cents for a plate.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. And then the bowls were like 50 cents, I think. I didn't typically go to Salvation Army a lot. Like I'm normally, doing Craigslist or estate sales. And I don't know, I think I just had time to kill one day and I was by a Salvation Army. And then, so now I'm just like, where is Salvation Army?
Now I'm going to be looking. Wait, hold on. We've got to see these plates again. Get another close-up. They are
here we go.
Beautiful. Yeah, somebody asked if it's Rose Medallion, and I believe
yes.
it is.
Yes. And it's the real deal. I mean, these, you just don't see these a lot, and they're just so beautiful. I think a lot of people would hang them. I mean, they're gorgeous on a wall, hanging on a wall. I don't know. We have like no wall space left. But I mean, if we did,
it would be so pretty on the wall.
Oh,
wish
yeah.
I had known this trick about Salvation Army before I registered for China before my wedding.
No, I know. There's so many things I wish I had known. So I hear you.
So this beautiful mural is on one side. And was that original also?
This is original, yes. So this is one of the things that I walked in and saw. I mean, so we painted this floor too. So I should show you. We did paint this floor.
Wait, you love painting floors.
So, okay, here's the thing. Okay. Painting floors is wonderful. There was carpet in this room.
Wow.
So I would have preferred anything, like anything. Although I understand that, you know, at the time the house was built, carpet was just a luxury, and that's why I put in. Obviously, you know, we're not there right now, but so honestly, just because I wanted to do this room and not spend a lot of money, the easiest thing was to take out the carpet and to paint. And honestly, I knew how easy it was from the kitchen floor. I didn't want to do anything super intense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how long this will kind of be. I don't know. I'm kind of sitting.
So there was hardwood floor that was underneath the carpet, and then you basically
there was subfloor.
So did you paint subfloor again?
Yeah, again. Yeah, it had worked so well, and I knew that I was going to be putting down. I don't know if you can see. I knew I was going to be putting down the sisal. Right. And I knew that it is wood, and so it feels like hardwood.
But you can't even tell. It looks like
no, you really can't. And so that's what I love though. I love saving money on those little things so that we can really focus on other things, you know, because the reality is most people have to make choices. And so I think just being wise in those choices has really helped us to be able to do a lot. So
somebody asked a question about your chandelier.
Okay, all the lighting is original to the house. Mm-hmm.
So it's like considered a teardown, as you said.
Right.
You walked into some incredible treasures.
Right. I think most people who walked in could not get past the kitchen and the bathrooms. I just think that was like, and honestly, it was the way it was decorated was very, very fine. Don't get me wrong, but very old fashioned, and, you know, lots of dark furniture. And so I just think, and I just remember my aunt, I mean, she loved me so much, and she knew, you know, we had a beautiful home. And I remember her saying, Jenny, I don't understand. So, and I think just to be able to we were pretty confident in what we were walking into. I mean, the VA didn't even think we should buy this house. I mean, it was all, we were really going it alone. But my parents, you know, I grew up, my parents are, my dad is a Civil War historian, and he has restored so many old buildings. And I grew up being dragged. Well, I felt I was being dragged to Williamsburg, you know, way too much. And so I just think with that sort of history and that sort of experience as, you know, growing up, I think that you start, and then having really discovered the world of design, you see, your designers say this all the time, anything inside can be changed. Like, you're not stuck with anything inside. If you have a good layout, everything else is just little.
But it's wonderful though how you've preserved it, because somebody else may have come in and just completely got the place and turned it into something modern.
I remember going to the first neighborhood picnic, and of course it was really special because I was like back, you know, to the neighborhood, and someone asking like, so did you finally get rid of that wallpaper in the foyer?
You're like, no, actually I'm keeping it and I love it.
No, we really love it. And she said, she was really sweet. She said, you must know what to do with it. And that, you know, that was very sweet. That was very sweet of her to say. And so I think that it really just does take that perspective and training of the eye. I mean, I can't say that in my 20s I would have come into this house and seen any potential, but I just think having grown up a little bit, and you know, you were talking about Grandmillenial. I think, you know, if you grew up with Jackie Kennedy as your style icon and Grace Kelly, and watching classic movies and seeing the set designs, and, you know, just that the Hollywood's golden age, the things that were going on in England and design at that time, I mean, it all kind of ties together. And I think that eventually, as your eye is trained, instead of it looking like it's clutter, it looks cultured. And I think it's getting, and I think it's just like, like the eye has to be trained to hear music. The ear has to be trained to hear music. And so I think that we just really, I think it's that classical type training that is important, when you're walking into something like this.
But your house doesn't look like you're walking into, a 95-year-old woman's house. I mean, it may have some pieces from a grandmother's house, but you've made it sort of refreshed, and you've given it new life and made it a little bit modern.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that I push back a little bit on the granny chic thing, just because, I don't think that any of us would ever think of Jackie Kennedy as granny chic.
Agreed.
or Bunny Mellon's, Bunny Mellon's estate is just down the road. Or, so I think that there's just something, and I think that's what's so wonderful about this era we're in, is that what we're calling Grandmillenial style is really an old style of decorating, but it was very unattainable for anyone who was not in the upper class, or, because it was very expensive. It's layered. Wallpaper is a fortune. Everyone knows this. We'll find wallpaper. I mean, and I think trying to get that look with wallpaper that isn't fine is probably where we all went wrong at some point. But I think that as these houses now some of them have fallen into disrepair. So, a lot of these, there's other trends, which are fine. A lot of people really, the trends are great. But, I don't know, I guess that someone like me is able to stumble into a home like this, or stumble into Salvation Army and find just, and I have to say, I so appreciate that people are not throwing things away, and that people are just like, no matter whether it's your style or not. I mean, I think that, I just think that just the donating is just so wonderful. And, someone might actually come along and see something special in those pieces. So it's definitely made me more prone to donate the things that I don't particularly like. And well, then you get to be so lucky. You're the lucky recipient who gets to find these treasures. Like, you recently had this whole bag of swag you found. Okay, so my husband's last outing before lockdown was the grocery store. This was my last outing. Priorities, right? I'm so grateful for him because we actually eat. But no, this was just, my son and I were out. I saw a sign. I mean, I never stop off of a sign ever. It was a yard, an estate sale? Yeah, it was an estate sale. I was just like, we're passing it. Let's just stop for a minute. And I had, Jackson, you just met Jackson, this poor child. I was like, Jackson, maybe you'll find something that you really like. Because one of the things, I do find them a lot of vintage toys, vintage things. My son, for Christmas, so my 8-year-old had been studying about Thomas Jefferson and had learned that Thomas Jefferson invented the traveling writing desk, and I found one that I was able to buy for him, and it's so special to him. So anyway, so we just stopped on a whim. And good for you. And I think I don't remember what I bought that first day, but I have never gone back to an estate sale for all 3 days. But I did with this one, because there were a couple things that were a little bit more than what I wanted to pay. So I would have been fine to let them go. But the Spode dish set, I bought the last day. So that was a deal. And then, the Heron Rothschild fabric lampshade. I mean, I was just like, oh my word. And that was Christmas. $25. So the mirror, so that mirror was one of a pair. And it was broken. So the top is actually, let me show you. The top was off. Okay, here it is hanging. So I actually, if you can see, I glued the top back on. It had the top with it. I probably would have thought. Beautiful. So yeah, that was $30.
I mean, all you really care about is the mirror being intact. And then you can just, if any of the little gold fill is broken.
And here are some of here are some of those other pieces. And it took me I was very hesitant to hang things in here. Oh, here's some needlepoint. I found this there too. Hold on. It says "Do not disturb." I thought that was so appropriate.
That's cute
for COVID. This table. I know it looks like this table I just set things on. I bought this table there. So.
And does it flap over on the other side?
Yeah, it does. It opens up, and I actually like it better. I must have cleaned it or something. I like it better with half up the way that it is in the picture. But so anyway,
And this is your wallpaper that your neighbor was like, "Are you going to get rid of
yes,
it?"
yes. But this was also like the first day we ever walked into this house. Okay, so this was what we walked into.
I want to put up one other thing because hold on.
Yeah.
Tell me about this china. This is amazing. You also found this for a steal.
Yes, I found that on Craigslist. So that was a little bit more of an investment, but we're a military family, and my husband's in the National Guard, which was originally the militia. I'm a daughter of a DAR, daughter of the Revolution. So, this is historical. This was manufactured to celebrate the bicentennial of our independence, and so each piece
has a different scene, right?
Scene, yeah. Hold on. Each piece has a different scene, and it's just really like I think my favorite. Oh, here's one of my. So these are berry bowls. So this is Betsy Ross sewing the flag, and honestly, the most thing, because our boys love history. I wish all children loved history, but they this is Mount Vernon. Let's see here. These are cereal bowls, so they're at our cereal station, but so it was just really fun to come home and, for the boys to like, some of them they knew, some of them they didn't. So, some of them
you can give them a little history lesson when they're eating their breakfast.
But it's just something, that's one of the things I think is so special because they fit our family so perfectly. And I think that's one of the things that's very special. I read something when I was first realized that there was such a thing as design from Suzanne Reinstein, and I think it was actually a William Yoward quote, but he always used to say fewer things, better things. And I think that just as a young 20-something, that really stuck with me because I understood it. Like, you really have to be able to be somewhat disciplined and not have to do everything at one time, and just kind of I decorate, I did not plan to hang a gallery wall here, but I found these beautiful. And so this isn't really a gallery wall, but then
you knew when you saw them, oh wait, I have a perfect spot for them.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't know where the perfect spot will be, but if something is beautiful enough, I know that it will work somewhere. And so that's just one of the things. And then this was the other, you were wondering about the gallery walls. I ever really fully shown this room off, but so this is the one gallery wall. And so some of these, again, they're special. This was, I think, Lord Ashburton, and he was an advisor to the king during the Revolutionary War and really wanted the king to kind of give up, give America, let America be America. So we like him. And then
where did you find that?
So this I actually sourced on eBay. I find a lot.
You need to write a whole post if you haven't already on how to buy on eBay.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of boredom and patience. Like if you can go through these listings and just, it just works. And then when my husband was at the White House, so the White House used to be called the President's House. And so I found these old book plates that are of the White House, but the President's House is how it's being referred to because that used to be the name of the White House. So just little fun history things. We usually don't have a computer in here. And then a lot of these were like estate sale finds.
Are those coins?
So those are intaglios. So if you start to go and read about them, so you've probably heard about intaglios, I actually, let me show you this. Oh my word. It's one of my favorite things. So this is an actual book. And you don't see these very often, but I love them so much. And so there's two, but anyway, and during the Grand Tour, those who couldn't afford to actually, who were not royalty and could not afford the sculptures or the massive pieces of art, would bring back these to commemorate kind of where they had been. And then of course document everything. So this is one of my, I absolutely
what a find. And then Do you know can you make out sort of what the scenes are on each of the pieces?
You can. I haven't, honestly. You really can. And you could probably figure out, all of this means
Sure.
something
I mean, you
somewhere.
probably need a historian to help you
So
figure
any of
that
my
out.
followers who understand this language, just, text me and I'll send you screenshots, or DM me and I'll send you screenshots. So we have this, and then, so a lot of this room I don't show because it's not fully finished.
But I love your mirror.
Thank you. That's kind of helped a little. So this, oh my word. So Allison, we have a Ballard Designs in Tyson's, and I kid you not, they put the sofa on their Facebook Marketplace because they needed to get it out of their showroom. I think it's like a $10,000 sofa, but they put it on Facebook Marketplace for $500. And so my sister, my sister is the one who spotted it, and I had to buy it like sight unseen, like immediately, because they had so many people on the phone already. And my sister said, just Jenny, you can, at worst case, you can resell it. So anyway, but it ended up fitting, which was just wonderful. And then
I love it, it's pink.
Yes, it is. Well, the really funny thing is that when my 8-year-old asked what color it was, and I kept putting him off, and finally I think he got to my sister, and she said it's pink, and he said, well, she said it's pink and white, and he said, well, I'm gonna sit on the white part. And I just died. I was like, wait until he sees it.
What did your husband think of having a pink and white
So
cup? Does he love it?
Honestly, I had always said no sectional. Like I was not a sectional person. He was just like, I don't care what it is. If it's a sectional, I'm good.
It doesn't seem like a sectional.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of the Miles Red. It was part of their Miles Red collection that I loved so much.
I love them curved.
Yeah, and then back here we have
you have a
lampshade
chair.
What's that? Yes. Oh my word, we have a couple of peacock chairs.
I love these. I love the shape. I love the figure. It's huge. Look at it compared to the other chair.
Yep, it is. It's huge. We kind of just have a bunch of stuff sitting back here, and then the lamp, the shade ended up on a lamp that I had, and I needed a new shade for that lamp. So I mean, it was it ended up working. So there's that.
Do you write little letters at your desk?
Okay, I really don't. I know it looks like I do. I spend so little time at this desk. I have to say, when I started doing a little bit more on Instagram, I was really like, I need a place to like just put things and to work. And I was like, wait a minute, I have a desk. So that's how little I used to use this desk. So I'm using it a little bit
like
more.
a catch-all for your favorite little
Yes, it is. And just little things that I'm working on. Like this is like from Feet Home, and then we did a Nicola McLaughlin
I love her.
shoot.
I did a profile on her.
So yeah. So I've got to get those stands back to her, and then we have a giveaway coming up for when we reach 40,000. So this tea towel is going to be part of that. I'm partnering with So Special by V for that, and so just a lot of little lots of little things going on there, and then we don't have to go all the way in here.
Considered your family room?
The
one that we were just in?
Okay, so this is considered our living room.
Okay, that's just your living room.
Mm-hmm.
Because you also have an evening room, which I love.
And the reason I think that you could also call this, honestly, back in the day, it was probably called a den, which is like, I hate the word den, like with every fiber of my being. So, this, we call our evening room just because this is where we spend our evenings. Like, for real, there's a TV on the other side, which you can see through the mirror. So we spend like so much time in here. This is where, we watch TV as a family, play games. Like we have a great little table to play games.
I love the green wall.
Yes, oh my word, it took me a while to find the right color. But it's so just perfectly English. I love it so much. So yeah.
And those are the original beams. And didn't I read that somebody suggested you paint them, and then you decided I'm going to leave them?
I think honestly, you probably don't have a before picture of this room, but it was so bad that honestly, I think I would have painted it white just because, it was just so bad that it really looked like the wood should not be saved. It was just, and I remember my mom saying, Jenny, she said, this is not paneling, it's wood. And she said, if you paint it, you won't be able to unpaint it. So she just, I love that about my mother. She just gives me pause. wise counsel. And so, yeah, so that
I
was
have a new name for your dens.
Okay.
2 people commented that in
Yay.
the UK they call dens snugs.
Snugs. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm not sure about that. Yes. Snugs. Where are they from? I would love to
I don't know. Just
know more about that.
UK.
What on earth does that mean? Now I'm going to learn something today. That's like the best thing ever.
Okay. So up your beautiful curved.
Okay. So we can go upstairs. Yeah. All right. So, and it's a little dark up here, but I just prefer natural light. So I'll just give you a quick peek. This is our guest bedroom, but our master is so little, and there's part of it I'm not going to show you because
No, that's fine. You do not have to show us everything. This is
but honestly, this window has I think one of the prettiest views of our whole house.
Oh wow.
I just love it. And if the horses, they're not out right now, but
do you know what's so amazing to me is that you are 30 minutes from downtown Washington, D.C.
My voice. Yes.
And
yes,
you are just out in horse country.
Yes, we are. And that's one of the things that is so special. I mean, Jack and Jackie Kennedy had their country home not too far from here because Jackie rode, and she would often ride with Bunny Mellon. Bunny Mellon's estate is not too far from here. So yeah, you've probably heard of Middleburg, very posh.
Where all the horse, that is
yes,
horse country.
Yes. And so a lot of our neighbors actually take their horses out to Middleburg to ride. So yes. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So this is the bathroom I was going to show you that is not renovated. Not renovated. Gosh. And this is the bathroom our boys use. And I'm so grateful to them for not minding. They're so sweet.
Is that pink tile?
So it's purple. We do have pink in our master. This is purple.
Okay, my friend Erin would die if she saw. This is like her dream bathroom, and she does not touch it either. It's pretty.
Part of me just loves it so much. So that's why it hasn't been a priority. There's a little bit of carpet, and I remember being really bothered by that. But then I recently saw, I think it was Alice. Mrs. Alice.
Oh yeah.
I think she was in her family home in the bathroom, and there was carpet, and I was like, okay, if it's good enough for Mrs. Alice, it is good enough for me. I'm good.
It totally used to be a thing back in the day.
Yeah. It was just a luxury, and I think that I just think that we get we're just so prone to want to just update and make everything new, and I think sometimes it just doesn't have to be, and we can be.
Or you update, but you keep. Pieces from the past. And you work around something existing.
For sure. Yeah. So.
Well, I think this is your forever home. I feel like you can't possibly move again.
I pray that it is. I mean, I don't know how I could get any closer to my parents. I mean, once we moved in. So I can't imagine a better situation for our family. But so this is just a peek at my oldest son's room. It's not really decorated, but he has some beautiful pieces in here. And we're looking at, let's see, we have some.
I love the historical pieces.
Yes. Yes. We have just a little piece of wallpaper over there that we're thinking about. So this is definitely a room that's kind of a work in progress, but I would say it's a priority because he's 11. And my hope is just that, that I want him to be able to enjoy it.
So your older son has, I love this room. This is your 2 younger boys?
Yes. So
wait,
this is the room.
Let me show. I have a before picture. It's a little scrunch.
Yes.
But, okay, so you can see the wallpaper is the same, but you took up the carpet, and it's
We did not take up the carpet.
Oh, you didn't?
We laid down a rug. So this is actually one of the few things in our house that is not thrifted, and it was in our nursery at our last home. It's just a restoration hardware rug that we had in our back when I shopped new. So
I love this room. I love the bedding. I love the wallpaper.
Thank you. So back when One Kings Lane was new, very new, I stumbled across them, and these beds, actually, I'm trying to get back so I can get better. But anyway, these beds actually used to reside in Tony Duquette's guest house. So they have just a really special story, and they were, it's not easy to find twin beds. There are 2 beds in here. So this room is where our 2 younger boys, this is their room. And Yeah, so that was really special. And then the bedding, I just came across, it was Annie Selke. I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I'm really sorry if I just butchered that. But yeah, so and then the portraits I came across, I think there was like a designer sale somewhere, like vintage, like a bunch of designers maybe got together and were selling things that they hadn't used. So
oh, and I love the color of them.
yeah. So these actually hung in our old house, and it was just providential that they worked in this home. But they're 4 portraits of 4 explorers, and I just love. I mean, we want all the adventure for our boys, and for them to have good, just some role models. So yeah. So and they have a really pretty view.
A beautiful view. And you know what you've done so well, because I think some people get hung up, and certainly I do, is mixing pattern and pattern. And the wallpaper goes so seamlessly with the bedding, even though it's both blue and.
So everything, I have to say, I mean, everything that I've done in our home, I really have been influenced by someone. So I don't feel like I can take credit, but I was just really, I don't know. Do you know that famous picture of Lee Radziwill with, I think her daughter or son. But anyway, in that like pattern on pattern, room. And I just always loved that room. And as soon as I saw this bedding, I just really, I just felt like it was,
you just knew
it was going to work. I mean, I never know for sure, but it worked out so much more beautifully than I could have imagined. So
your boys are just going to have a beautiful appreciation for interior design.
Well, I hope so, but at the very least, they'll have beautiful rooms to come back to. And I mean, that's the thing. I think, as a mother, I stay home. So everything, all of this that I do for them and for my husband. And we all kind of work together, and it's just a blessing. So
well,
yeah.
Jenny, your home is exquisite. It's stunning. And I know it's a work in progress. So we can't wait to continue following along with your Instagram journey as you show us bits and pieces.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
But it's such a warm and cozy home. And now you can call your den a snug.
Yes. I'm like literally going to go look up to see what that means. That's awesome.
Well, this was such a treat. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it was a treat for me. So thank you.
And somebody's asking if I will post the video, and yes, I will post the whole thing.
Oh,
so people can go back and watch it.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That's so fun. And I have to just say, I know that everyone has really been loving watching the ducklings, but going back through all of these videos that you've been posting, they're really fun to watch. And just being stuck at home, I've just really enjoyed following along and seeing inside some homes that we probably wouldn't otherwise be seeing inside.
Well,
so thank you.
I mean, I just feel that now is the time when people have such a deep appreciation for home as a comfort and as a safe space. And it's always just a treat to get to see inside other people's homes, how they decorate, how they live, and in a kind of unedited and really natural way. I mean, nothing is staged. It's really how it is in its normal state. Plus, I find so powerful with getting to in touring homes. I love hearing from the homeowner, and I love hearing your perspective and your stories.
Yes, no, for sure.
Because it's not just about the piece of furniture; it's about how you place it, and what you put it with, and where you found it.
Yes,
everything comes together in this beautiful narrative, which you have so wonderfully done. So, Jenny, thank you. Have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
You too. All right.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. This has been fun. All right. Thanks, Allison.
Bye.
Bye.